If you're turning 65 or enrolling in Medicare for the first time, this isn't just paperwork. You're about to make decisions that will shape your health care and your finances for the rest of your retirement. Pick the wrong plan, miss a deadline, or trust the wrong advice, and you could end up stuck with limited coverage, unexpected and costly medical bills, and no easy way to fix it. I've seen it happen way too many times. Smart people who thought they were making the right decision, and months later, they're sitting across from me saying, no one ever explained it to me like this. So that's what I'm doing today, telling you before it's too late. Here are the top 5 Medicare mistakes people make and how you can avoid every single one of them. But before we get to that, you're probably thinking, who is this guy anyway? Why should I listen to him instead of Joe Namath and all those Medicare commercials? Fair enough. I've never won a Super Bowl like Broadway Joe, but I did spend more than 20 years working inside the Medicare and insurance industry, including senior executive roles at some of the biggest names in the Medicare insurance business. I've seen how the system really works on the inside, and more importantly, how confusing and sometimes misleading it can be from the outside. Now, I help people like you cut through the noise, skip the sales pitch, and make a confident decision about Medicare and your future. With that said, here's the number one mistake I've seen over and over again for the last 20 years. Mistake number 1. Thinking Medicare is free. You wouldn't believe how often I hear this. Matt, I've paid into the system my whole life, so Medicare just covers everything, right? Well, as much as we all wish that were true, it's not. Part A hospital coverage is usually premium free if you or your spouse have worked 10 years or more, but Part B, doctor visits, outpatient care, tests, that comes with a monthly premium. For most people, it's about $185 a month in 2025 and likely more in 2026 and beyond. Miss your Part B enrollment deadlines? Well, you'll get a premium penalty for life, and that's just the start. Part D drug coverage has its own premium and late penalties if you delay, and if your income is higher, you'll also pay more for both Part B and D thanks to IRMA, an income-based surcharge. Those letters usually show up at the end of the year right around the same time as Social Security cost of living letters go out. Planning for that early can save a lot of stress, and I cover it in detail in my book, Prepare for Medicare, The Insider's Guide to Buying Medicare Insurance. And the biggest surprise, Original Medicare has no out-of-pocket maximum. There's no cap on what you could pay unless you add a Medicare supplement or Medicare Advantage plan. So when people say, I thought Medicare was free, I don't blame them. That's how it sounds when you're paying into it when you're younger. But the truth is Medicare helps, but it doesn't cover everything. If you don't understand how the costs work, it's easy to pick a plan that feels affordable now and find out later that it doesn't protect you when it matters most. Mistake number 2, choosing a plan based on ads or free stuff. Every fall, the ads start hitting $0 premiums, some version of dental insurance included, money back in your Social Security check. And sure, it sounds great, especially if you're on a fixed income trying to stretch your retirement budget. But here's what those ads usually skip. Medicare Advantage isn't quote-unquote free either. You're trading one set of costs and rules for another. These plans often have limited provider networks, which means you may have to switch doctors or get referrals to see a specialist. Many require prior authorization from the insurance company for things like scans or outpatient surgeries. And while the premium might be $0, the annual medical maximum out-of-pocket cost can be as high as $8,850 in 2025, and that goes all the way up to $9,250 in 2026. That will also likely keep going up every year after. Are you already on a Medicare Advantage plan and need to shop around? Well, the annual election period every fall, October 15th to December 7th, is when most people can review and switch plans. I walk through how to use that window to your advantage in my Prepare for the AEP course and companion book. A Medicare supplement plan usually costs more in monthly premium each month, but it gives you broader access and stronger financial protection, especially if your health changes. But they can be very expensive, and lately, the premium increases have been in the double digits. Plus, you'll also have to pay for individual Medicare Part D drug coverage on top of your supplement premium. It definitely adds up. The mistake isn't choosing Medicare Advantage or Medicare Supplement. The mistake is choosing either one just because it looks cheap on the surface or expensive up front without understanding the trade-offs. Ask yourself, does this plan truly fit my needs, or does it just sound like a deal right now? Mistake number 3, assuming you can just switch back later. Stop me if you've ever heard this. I'll try a Medicare Advantage plan for now, and if I don't like it, I'll just switch to a supplement later. Well, it sounds reasonable, but it's not quite right. Here's why. When you first enroll in Medicare Part B, typically at age 65, you get a 6-month window to buy a Medicare supplement or Medigap plan with no health questions asked. That's called a guarantee issue. But once that window closes, insurance companies can underwrite your application, meaning they can ask you about your health and deny you based on it. And they do. Common conditions like diabetes, heart issues, past surgeries, even just medications can disqualify you or drive your premium way up. That flexibility you thought you'd have, it's gone. Now, there are exceptions. A handful of states have their own rules that allow you to switch or buy a supplement later without medical questions, but those rules vary, and most people don't live in those states. And yes, there's also a free look period if you switch from a Medicare Advantage plan to a supplement plan. Most states give you a 12-month free look, time to change your mind and go back to a Medicare supplement. But once that window closes, you're back to the health question process. And if you're working past age 65, that decision gets even more complicated. I go step by step through those scenarios in my Working Past 65 book and course. Links are in the description. If a Medicare supplement plan is something you might want in the future, the best time to get it is right at the beginning when your health can't be used against you. Because once you lose that opportunity, there's no guarantee you'll ever get it back. Mistake number 4, missing critical deadlines. Medicare doesn't send reminders, and most people don't realize how unforgiving the deadlines are until it's too late. If you're turning 65, your initial enrollment period starts 3 months before your birthday, includes your birth month, and then ends 3 months after it. You miss that window and you can face a permanent penalty on your Part B and Part D premiums. Yes, permanent. And if you're still working past 65 and keeping employer coverage, well, you get a special enrollment period when that coverage ends, usually 8 months to sign up for Part B without a penalty. But here's one part no one tells you. COBRA doesn't usually count as an active employer coverage for Medicare purposes. So if you get downsized or retire and go on COBRA thinking you're covered, you could miss your Part B window and end up with big penalties and no coverage for months. And here's one more to watch out for. If you delay Medicare because of employer coverage, you'll need written proof your plan was creditable when you finally enroll. Miss that, and you can face penalties again. I break down exactly how to handle all this in my Working Past 65 course and book. What if you're already on Medicare? The annual election period, or AEP, runs from October 15th to December 7th. That's your chance to switch Advantage or drug plans. Miss it, and you're locked into your current plan for another year, even if it no longer fits your needs. Medicare gives you windows, not flexibility, and if you assume you'll just get around to it, you may find out the hard way that waiting comes with penalties and fewer options. Mistake number 5, letting a salesperson make the decision for you. There are good agents out there, but there are also TV hotlines, overly pushy salespeople, and Medicare help websites that are really just trying to steer you into 1 or 2 plans. Here's what you need to remember. Most of the time, if someone is calling you or advertising nonstop, they're not there to educate you, they're there to enroll you. They may only show you the plans they get paid a higher commission on. They may not explain the trade-offs, and they're definitely not going to walk you through the decision like a coach. That's why I always say, you don't need to be sold to make a smart decision. You need to understand the rules, the options, and how they fit into your personal situation. That's the whole reason I made this video, is to give you that clarity before someone else gives you pressure. That's also why I created the Prepare for Medicare Insider Method. It's the exact same 5-step framework I use and I help people one-on-one. It takes the sales pitch out of the process so you can focus on what's right for you. Time for a quick plug. If you're looking for someone to walk you through this one-on-one, my wife Nikki is one of the most trusted independent Medicare advisors I know. She and her team at brickhouseagency.com have helped thousands of people make the right decision without pressure or confusion. I'll leave her information in the description if you want to connect. There's never any obligation to enroll. Of course, plans and premiums and benefits can change every single year. Always confirm details with a trusted advisor. If there's any part of this video to remember, it's this. Medicare decisions don't start when you turn 65 or just on October 15th. They start now. Here's what I strongly recommend. Start learning now, before the ads start flooding your mailbox. Know the real costs, trade-offs, and timelines. And above all, choose a plan that fits your needs, not what sounds good on paper or in a commercial. If you're turning 65 this year or next, or thinking about switching this fall, I rate Prepare for Medicare, the Insider's Guide, to walk you through the process step by step. Grab a copy. I'll link it below. Join my free Prepare for Medicare Facebook group. It's a community where I share insider tips every week. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you're a professional helping clients navigate Medicare. And if this video helped, hit subscribe and send it to somebody who might need it. I'm posting new videos every single week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.